My parents blew off my emergency hospital calls because my sister was freaking out about paint colors. So I had my attorney come to the ICU, and when they finally showed up, they learned the real price of their neglect. My heart literally stopped yesterday. But the real shock? It wasn't the doctors who brought me back to life. It was the cold, hard truth about my own family. And trust me, it changed everything. One moment, I was standing under flickering fluorescent lights, trying to deliver the most important presentation of my career. The next, the room started spinning. My voice caught. My heart wasn't just racing. It felt like it was trying to claw its way out of my chest. Then, darkness. I woke up to chaos. Call 911. Is she breathing? My assistant, Sarah, was there, mascara running down her face. Sophia, stay with us. The ambulance is coming. I managed to whisper, call my parents, before everything went black again. The next thing I remember was the cold. So much cold. Doctors were speaking in urgent tones. Cardiac arrhythmia. Immediate surgery. All I wanted was my phone. Please, I begged the nurse. I need to call my family. She hesitated, then handed it over. My fingers trembled as I dialed Mom, then Dad. Straight to voicemail. Both of them. My texts grew desperate. Mom, I'm in the hospital. Dad, please answer. They're taking me to surgery. I'm scared. The nurse gave me a sympathetic look as she took the phone. We need to go now, honey. I'm sure they'll be here when you wake up. They weren't. I came to hours later, groggy and alone in the ICU. The constant beeping of monitors was my only company. Sarah had left a note, promising to be back, but family-only visiting hours were a cruel joke. At 3 a.m., a kind night nurse checked my vitals. Your mother left a voicemail, she said softly, reaching for my phone. Hope flickered, so fragile. I nodded. She played it. Mom's voice, chirpy. Hi, sweetie. We got your messages, but we can't come right now. Hazel is having an absolute crisis over the color they painted her new apartment. She's inconsolable. You know how she gets. We'll try to stop by tomorrow if she's feeling better. Love you. The nurse's face said it all. My own tears burned hot as they slid down my cheeks. Asterisk Hazel's paint crisis? Over my near death? Asterisk it wasn't just the paint. A memory flashed. Last Christmas, me writing a $50,000 check for Hazel's credit card debt. Mom barely looking up. Thanks, Sophie. You're such a good sister. Good sister, good daughter, good ATM. I wiped my eyes. Actually, yes, I told the nurse, my voice suddenly steady. Could you hand me my phone? I need to call my lawyer. Her concern was clear, but my hands weren't trembling anymore. I scrolled, pressed call. Derek, it's Sophia. I know it's late, but I need you. Bring the papers. All of them. Yes, I'm sure. I'm in the ICU at Mount Sinai. No, my family isn't here. That's exactly why I'm calling. I stared at the ceiling, my heart monitor beeping in rhythm with my new, steely resolve. I'd almost died, and my sister's paint color had taken precedence. 20 years of similar moments crashed over me. Hazel's tantrums, missed milestones, cleaning up her messes while my own achievements gathered dust. My phone buzzed. Instagram. Hazel had just posted a selfie with Mom and Dad, all huddled around paint swatches. Worst day ever. Thank God for family support. Hashtag blessed, hashtag family, hashtag crisis. I clicked it off. Something hard and cold crystallized in my chest. It wasn't my heart this time. It was determination. Tomorrow, Derek would help me dismantle everything I'd built for them. And for the first time in my life, I wouldn't feel guilty. Derek arrived at 9 a.m. sharp, his leather briefcase bulging. He took one look at me, pale and hooked up to monitors, and his professional demeanor cracked. Jesus, Sophia, you look like hell. Thanks, Derek. Always knew I could count on you for honesty. I managed a weak smile. Did you bring everything? He pulled up a chair. Everything you asked for. But are you sure about this? It's aggressive. My heart literally stopped yesterday, Derek. My family was too busy picking paint swatches to care. I'd say aggressive is exactly what this situation calls for. He nodded, jaw tight. He'd seen enough of their behavior over the years. All right, let's start with the will changes. For the next hour, we worked. My signature grew steadier with each page. My hand knew this was right, even if my heart ached. So, that's your parents removed as beneficiaries, Derek said. Next, revoking their access to your accounts. The ones you've been using to support Hazel's lifestyle. I remembered Mom saying, it's only $70,000 this time. You know how hard things have been for her. Do it, I told Derek. All of it. And the vacation house? List it today. My phone buzzed. A text from Mom. Hazel picked the perfect shade of sage. Crisis averted. How are you feeling, sweetie? I showed it to Derek. He let out a low whistle. That's something else. Watch this, I said, opening the family group chat. My fingers flew across the keyboard. Still in ICU after emergency heart surgery? Thanks for asking. Glad Hazel's walls are sage instead of seafoam. Definitely worth missing your daughter's near-death experience for. Derek raised an eyebrow. Poking the bear? More like waking it up. They've been hibernating in their bubble of denial for too long. My phone exploded with notifications. Mom, Dad, Hazel. All denying, accusing, self-victimizing. I turned it face down. Keep going with the papers, Derek. By noon, we drafted everything. Derek was packing up when Camila burst in, carrying real coffee and looking murderous. I just saw Hazel's Instagram story, she announced, handing me the coffee. Full home renovation reveal. Tagged #blessed #new beginnings #family support. Not a single mention that her sister almost died yesterday. Of course not, I said, taking a sip. That would require acknowledging someone else's existence. Derek stood. I've got the papers ready to file, but I'll hold them until tomorrow. Give you time to think it through. I shook my head. File them now? I've had 38 years to think it through. After they left, I saw Hazel's latest post, a boomerang of her twirling, Mom and Dad applauding in the background. Sometimes it takes a village. So grateful for parents who drop everything to help in a crisis. #blessed paint day, #family first. My fingers hovered. Then I opened my email. To my entire contact list, dear friends and colleagues, I'm currently in the ICU at Mount Sinai following emergency heart surgery. I'm sharing this not for sympathy, but for transparency. I also learned something valuable about family. Sometimes the ones who should be there aren't, and sometimes that's the wake-up call you need. Best, Sophia. I hit send, then turned off my phone. Let them deal with the fallout. I was done covering for them. 3 days after surgery, Mom and Dad finally graced me with their presence. Mom, in Hermes, carrying an expensive bouquet. Dad, uncomfortable. Oh, darling, Mom exclaimed, like it was a casual lunch. These fluorescent lights are absolutely brutal on your complexion. Nearly dying tends to do that. I replied flatly. Dad cleared his throat. Now, Princess, no need for that tone. We're here now. 3 days later. Mom arranged the flowers. Hazel wanted to come, but she's still dealing with the contractor. Such a nightmare. They completely botched the crown molding. She's been crying all morning. I pressed the morphine button. Not for pain, but for patience. Where is Hazel anyway? Dad asked. Probably posting about her crown molding crisis on Instagram. I said. Did you know her story about paint swatches got more attention than my emergency surgery announcement? Mom's hand stilled. Sophia, please. You know how sensitive she is. She's been absolutely beside herself about your situation. My situation? I repeated. You mean my heart stopping? A knock saved them. Derek, impeccable in his suit. Mom's face lit up. Derek, how lovely. Here to check on our girl. Actually, he said, walking to my bedside. I'm here in my professional capacity. He handed me a folder. I opened it slowly, savoring the moment. Mom, Dad, you remember Derek's my lawyer, right? The color drained from Mom's face. Dad's forced smile flickered. These are copies of documents I filed yesterday. I continued, my voice steady. I've removed you both from my will, revoked your access to all my accounts, and listed the vacation house in Florida for sale. The house. Dad stammered. But where will we go in the summer? Not my concern. Mom's hand flew to her throat. Sophia, you can't be serious. We're family. Family. I laughed, a bitter sound, and the heart monitor betrayed my spike in anger. Let me tell you about family. Last month, I paid off Hazel's $70,000 credit card debt. The month before, I covered her rent. Last year, I funded her failed jewelry business. What did I get in return? When my heart stopped, and I needed you most, you chose paint swatches over your dying daughter. That's not fair, Dad protested weakly. No, what's not fair is that I've spent my entire adult life being your backup plan, your safety net, your human ATM. Well, guess what? The Bank of Sophia is officially closed. Derek handed them papers. These detail the changes. I'd suggest reading them carefully. Mom's hands shook. This is ridiculous. You won't go through with this. Family sticks together, Sophia, you know that. I looked her directly in the eyes. If that's true, how come I almost died alone? The silence was deafening. The house is already listed, Derek added quietly. Dad sank into a chair. Princess, please, let's talk rationally. I had plenty of time to think rationally while lying here alone for 3 days, I said. Did you know the nurses took turns sitting with me because they felt bad I had no family here? Strangers showed more concern. Mom's mascara started to run. You're being dramatic. We came as soon as we could. After Hazel's paint crisis was resolved, I corrected. Check your priorities, Mom. Better yet, check your phone. I'm sure Hazel's having another meltdown about crown molding right now. As if on cue, her phone buzzed. She glanced. Go ahead, I said. Answer it. We both know you will. She stood, smoothing her skirt. This isn't over, Sophia. You're upset. We'll discuss this when you're feeling better. Actually, we won't. I pressed the call button for the nurse. I'm ready for my rest now. As security, which Derek had arranged, escorted them out, I heard Mom's voice crack. She can't do this. She's our daughter. No, I whispered to the empty room. I'm just the backup daughter you never wanted, but always needed. And I quit. My heart monitor returned to normal, steady, and strong. Like it knew this was just the beginning. My phone rang at 3 a.m. Hazel. I answered out of morbid curiosity. How dare you? Her voice crackled with rage. How dare you do this to Mom and Dad? Good morning to you too, Hazel. How's the crown molding crisis? Don't you dare be sarcastic. They're devastated. Mom hasn't stopped crying, and Dad had to take a Xanax. I sat up straighter. Interesting how they can have such strong reactions to consequences, but couldn't muster any concern when I was literally dying. Oh my God, you're not dying. Stop being so dramatic. My heart stopped, Hazel. Actually stopped. But please, tell me more about your pain emergency. She made a sound between a scream and a sob. You need to fix this. Call Derek right now and undo everything. Or what? Or I'll never speak to you again. I laughed, a genuine laugh. Is that supposed to be a threat? The line went quiet. Then her voice had that familiar manipulative tremor. Remember when we were kids, and you promised to always take care of me? I remembered. I was 12, she was 6. She destroyed my science fair project. Mom blamed me. Actually, I do remember, I said. I remember a lot of things, Hazel. Like how I sold Grandma's ring, my only inheritance, to bail you out of debt 3 years ago. Remember what you said then? Thanks, sis. You're the best. Right before you went on a shopping spree with Mom. That's different. I needed you. You always need. And I'm always expected to provide. Well, guess what? I'm done. Mom wants to meet, she said, changing tactics. One last family meeting to talk things through. Fine. Tomorrow at noon, hospital cafeteria. My terms, Derek and Camila are with me. She agreed. And Hazel, I'm bringing Camila. Your annoying friend. Why? Because I'm done being outnumbered. The next day, Mom and Dad looked haggard. Hazel swept in 10 minutes late, oversized sunglasses, clutching an iced latte. Camila sat beside me, radiating protective energy. Sophia, Mom began, reaching across the table. Let's talk rationally. Rational, Camila interjected. Like ignoring your daughter's emergency surgery. This is a family matter. Hazel snapped. Funny, I said. I was family when you needed your credit cards paid off. Dad raised his hands. Princess, we understand you're hurt. But this revenge, it's beneath you. Revenge. I leaned forward. This isn't revenge, Dad. This is boundaries. This is me finally saying no. You're being selfish. Hazel slammed her latte. Do you know what this is doing to me? My anxiety is through the roof. My followers can tell something's wrong. Camila snorted. Your sister almost died, and you're worried about your Instagram aesthetic? Stay out of this. Hazel whirled on Camila. This is your fault. You've always tried to turn her against us. No, I cut in. You did that all by yourselves. Mom started crying, her practice tears on schedule. We can fix this, sweetie. Just call Derek. Stop. My voice was steel. The house is already in escrow. The accounts are closed. It's done. Hazel stood so fast her chair toppled. You ungrateful. She grabbed her latte and threw it at Camila. Camila barely dodged. The cafeteria went silent. Security approached. And that, I said quietly, is exactly why this is happening. As security escorted Hazel out, her screams echoing, I turned to my parents. We're done here. Sophia, please. Mom tried one last time. No. I'm being discharged tomorrow. When I leave this hospital, I'm leaving this dysfunction behind, too. I stood, Camila steady beside me. Oh, and one more thing. I've instructed my lawyer to file a restraining order against Hazel. Consider this her first and last warning. Walking back to my room, Camila squeezed my hand. You okay? I nodded. You know what's funny? My heart's actually beating better now that I've stopped letting them break it. Hazel's distant screams mixed with Mom's sobs. The sound of consequences. The Florida house sold in 3 days. I signed the papers from my new apartment. Derek slid over a cashier's check, $4.2 million. What are you going to do with it? First, I'm hiring an estate sale company. Everything goes, including the piano. My hand stilled. The baby grand. My sanctuary. Mom gave it to Hazel on her 16th, despite knowing I was the only one who played. Especially the piano. My phone buzzed. News alert. Hazel, local woman removed from luxury boutique after altercation. Your sister's making headlines, Derek noted. She always wanted to be famous. I forwarded it to Camila. Karma's working overtime, she replied. The estate sale company worked. I watched via FaceTime. Marie, the woman in charge, held up a jewelry box. What about this? Inside, the space where my grandmother's ring used to be, before I sold it for Hazel's gambling debts. Sell it, I said. Everything goes. Sophia. A voice screeched off camera. Hazel, past security. You can't sell Mom's anniversary china. I watched her trying to grab items. Should I call the police? Marie asked. Immediately. Hazel was removed again, screaming about heirlooms. Text from Mom. How could you sell our memories? Dad's heartbroken. That piano was for Hazel. We're still your family. I blocked their numbers. Later, Derek called, voice tense. We have a situation. Hazel tried to file for temporary conservatorship over you. She what? Claiming your cardiac event affected your mental capacity. Says your erratic behavior proves you're unfit to manage your affairs. I laughed, humorlessly. Let me guess. She's volunteering to manage my money. Got it in one. Don't worry, it's ridiculous. Make it expensive. And Derek, countersue for harassment. The estate sale started. The piano went to a music school. Perfect. My phone pinged. An unfamiliar email. Subject, your father's medical records. What? I asked Derek. Open it. A single line. Dad had a heart condition too. Mom never told you. Guess she loved one daughter enough to warn her. H. My new heart skipped a beat. Is this true? I had it verified, Derek said quietly. Your father has the same condition. Genetic. Hazel's been monitored for it since childhood. The room spun. They knew. They knew I could have inherited this. And they never told me. Protected Hazel, but not me. Never me. Derek, my voice was steady despite trembling hands. Remember when you said the conservatorship claim was ridiculous? Prove it. Release my medical records to the court. Show them I'm not only competent, I'm thriving post-surgery. Then leak the fact that they knew about this genetic condition and deliberately withheld the information. That's nuclear, Sophia. They nearly let me die, Derek. Nuclear feels appropriate. As we hung up, another notification. Certified letter from Hazel's lawyer. I expected threats. Instead, a photo, me at 12, protecting 6-year-old Hazel. On the back, Mom's handwriting. My girls, forever inseparable. Below it, Hazel, remember who you're supposed to be. My protector, my sister. Don't make me destroy you. I forwarded it to Derek. Then I opened my laptop. It was time to tell my story. All of it. The decades of manipulation, the financial abuse, the neglect. No names. Just truth. As I typed, I remembered my grandmother. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is stop protecting people from the consequences of their own actions. My fingers flew. Each word a brick in the wall. I wasn't their protector anymore. I was finally my own. My blog post went live at midnight. By 6 a.m., 100,000 shares. A story of family toxicity and survival, read the headline. Camila called. Have you seen Twitter? You're trending. Your mother's country club friends are having a field day. My phone buzzed. Nicholas, Hazel's on again, off again boyfriend. Your sister's losing it, he said. She's been screaming for hours. She says you're lying, that you're jealous. Ask her about Dad's heart condition. Ask her why they never told me I could die from the same thing that almost killed me. Silence. They knew since we were kids, he said heavily. Hazel got tested. I didn't even know it ran in the family. Jesus Christ. I'm done. Tell Derek I'll testify. By noon, local news picked it up. Prominent family's dirty laundry aired. Dad called. Princess, please. They're asking me to step down from the country club board. Tragic. Almost as tragic as not telling your daughter she had a potentially fatal heart condition. We were trying to protect you from worry. No, you were trying to protect Hazel from responsibility. As usual. Derek called. Conservatorship dismissed. Judge laughed. Hazel sent a cease and desist for the blog post. Perfect. Counter with the medical records. Derek already did. Her lawyer withdrew it. My email pinged. Nicholas again. Thought you should see this. She doesn't know I recorded it. Video. Hazel screaming at our parents. Fix this. Make her stop. I'm the one who matters. I'm your real daughter. I forwarded it to Derek. Leverage. A text from an unknown number. A photo of my grandmother's ring. Missing something? Who is this? I typed. Someone who bought it from the pawn shop. Want it back? Meet me. I blocked the number and called Derek. They're getting desperate. Good, he said. Because I just filed the harassment suit. And Sophia, the ring thing? Amateur hour. I bought your grandmother's ring back months ago. It's in my safe. Tears pricked my eyes. You did? Of course. I knew you'd want it back someday. That evening, my blog post hit national news. Dr. Phil called. Mom's voicemail. Crying, screaming, apologizing. Please, sweetie, we can fix this. Tell everyone you were confused. Say you made it up. We're your family. I played it for Camila. Wow, she sounds sincere. She's not. She's not sorry for what they did. She's sorry they got caught. News alert. Hazel's public meltdown at a charity gala. She's never faced consequences, Camila observed. She doesn't know how. I opened my laptop. Email to my realtor. Looking for properties in California. Running away? Camila asked. No. I replied, thinking of the ring, running towards something better. The family home looked smaller. I stood in the driveway, keys in hand. Camila beside me. Want me to go in first? No. I need to do this. Police cruiser down the street. The door opened. Mom, looking diminished. You brought security? Witnesses. I corrected, nodding to Camila and the officer. Dad appeared. Princess, this is unnecessary. After Hazel's latest stunt, I'd say it's very necessary. They stepped aside. The house smelled of desperation and Chanel No. 5. I'm here for my things, I said, heading upstairs. Just my childhood photos and some documents. Wait. Mom called. There's something you need to know first. I turned, watching her twist her wedding ring. Hertel, you should sit down for this. I'll stand. She exchanged looks with Dad. It's about your adoption. The word hung in the air. Camila grabbed my arm. My what? You're not. Mom's voice wavered. You're technically your Aunt Sarah's daughter. When she died, we took you in. You were too. We never told you because we wanted you to feel like real family. The room tilted. Aunt Sarah, my biological mother. Dad stepped forward. We loved you like our own. Stop. My voice was ice. You loved me like your own? You let me believe I was your biological child while withholding life-saving medical information because it wasn't genetic for me? You prioritized your biological daughter while I paid her bills, cleaned her messes, and nearly died alone. We didn't want you to feel different, Mom protested. Different? I laughed, a harsh sound. You mean like how you treated me differently my entire life? Hazel's heavy footsteps. Oh good. She finally knows she's not really my sister. I'm not. I turned to her. Then I guess I'm not really responsible for you anymore. All those years of guilt, of obligation, they never belonged to me, did they? You ungrateful. Hazel started, but Mom cut her off. We gave you everything. No. I interrupted. I earned those things. Every single one. While you were busy coddling your real daughter. I walked to the stairs, pushing past Hazel. In my old room, I found the box, photos, documents, memories. At the bottom, a small frame. Aunt Sarah, my real mother, holding me as a baby. Downstairs, chaos. Hazel screaming about inheritance. Mom sobbing. Dad trying to talk rationally. I descended with my box. The police officer moved closer. That's my baby photo album. Hazel shrieked, lunging. The officer stepped between us. Actually, I said calmly. These are Aunt Sarah's photos. My mother's photos. I'm taking what's mine and leaving what never was. You can't just walk away from this family. Mom grabbed my arm. I shook her off. I'm not walking away from my family. I'm walking away from people who kept me around as a convenient backup plan. There's a difference. We'll sue. We'll take everything. Hazel screamed. Go ahead. I reached the door. But remember, I have proof of financial fraud, medical neglect, and now proof that you knowingly withheld my adoption status while using it against me. Want to see how that plays in court? Silence. I turned one last time. You know what's funny? You kept this secret thinking it would make me feel less like family. But knowing the truth, it finally sets me free. I'm not your backup daughter. I'm not your ATM. I'm Sarah's daughter, and I'm done carrying your burdens. Camila opened the door. Sunlight streamed in. Behind me, Mom collapsed. Dad tried to comfort her. Hazel raged. Ready? Camila asked. I clutched my box, lighter than ever. Ready. We walked into the sunlight. My phone buzzed with another lawsuit threat. Let them come. Truth was on my side. And truth, I was learning, was the strongest weapon of all. The California sun streamed through my office window. My heart, now steady and strong, kept perfect rhythm. Family isn't about blood or obligation. I typed, finishing my blog post. It's about choice. Every day we choose who we let into our hearts. Derek called. The lawsuits are officially dismissed. All of them. Judge called them frivolous attempts at financial manipulation. How's Hazel taking it? Not well. Have you seen the tabloids? I pulled up the headline. Socialite's public meltdown goes viral. My sister ruined my life. She's trending again, I said. Not the kind of fame she wanted. Mom had emailed. Your father's birthday. We miss you. Can't we just go back? I clicked delete. My doorbell rang. Camila, with coffee and a small package. Special delivery from Derek. Inside, nestled in velvet, my grandmother's ring. The one I'd sold for Hazel. The one Derek had rescued. It was now on a new chain, a necklace. Derek said you might want to wear it differently now, Camila explained. New meanings for new beginnings. I fastened it around my neck. My laptop chimed. A donation confirmation. I'd funded a year of cardiac screening for low-income families, named after Sarah, my real mother. Your support group starts soon, Camila reminded me. Ready? I logged into the video call. Dozens of faces appeared. People who'd found strength through my story. Welcome, everyone. Today we're talking about setting boundaries without guilt. Halfway through, a text from Nicholas. Thought you should know. Hazel's trying to sell a story to the tabloids about your adoption. But don't worry, I sent them the video of her admitting to financial fraud instead. I smiled. Karma, indeed. Another email from Dad. I'm sorry. For what it's worth, I was wrong. We were all wrong. You're stronger than any of us ever were. For the first time, his words held no power. I didn't need his apology. I was no longer that desperate girl. The support group ended. We choose ourselves today. Camila pointed to my blog comments. A new one. I left my toxic family today. Your story gave me courage. Thank you for showing me that walking away isn't giving up. It's growing up. I touched my grandmother's ring. Ready for dinner? I asked Camila. The new Thai place has outdoor seating. Always. Oh, and I invited someone from your cardiac support group. That writer who also survived family drama. She seemed cool. Outside, the sunset painted the sky. My phone buzzed one last time. Hazel. Another rant about betrayal. I turned off notifications and smiled at Camila. You know what? I think I'm finally done carrying their stories. It's time to live my own. We walked toward the restaurant, my grandmother's ring catching the last rays of sunlight. Behind us, a stream of comments flowed on my blog post. You helped me find my voice. I'm choosing myself today. Thank you for showing us the way out. Revenge had brought me here, but it wasn't what kept me standing. That came from something stronger. The power of choosing myself, of building a life where love didn't require sacrifice. My heart beat steady and true, no longer racing to please others. This was freedom. This was peace. And it tasted sweeter than any revenge ever could. What a journey, right? It was terrifying, heartbreaking, but ultimately, incredibly liberating. I've shared my story, and now I'd love to hear from you. Have you ever had to draw a hard line with family? Or found out a truth that changed everything you thought you knew? What did you do? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. I'm really looking forward to reading them.